In my last couple of videos, I used a few characters that might be recognizable to some of you. Discord, Tempest, Silverstream, Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, and Twilight. If you haven't guessed by now, then let me say that I am in fact a huge brony, and darn proud of it. However, there was a time in my life when I was much more hesitant to let people know of my love of ponies, where my masculinity was threatened and my overt macho veneer would be destroyed if anyone knew that I loved pastel-colored horses. The year was 2011, and I was probably 6 months into watching the show. Nowadays, there's a ton of different cool and wildly awesome pony toys and merch. However, back then, there was really only two options for the budding horse fan. Brushable toys, like the stereotypical little girl from any 80s or 90s movies would play with, and the first line of McDonald's pony toys. And I bought both of them in bulk, or at least a couple dozen. To keep them a secret and my name intact, I had a small cardboard box that I would put all the ponies into, and I would slide them underneath my bed like a dirty magazine that a stereotypical boy from the 80s or 90s movies would have. And nobody suspected a thing. Well, that fall, I want to say October, my parents wanted to take a trip up to a town called Estes Park, a gorgeous mountain town outside of Boulder. Estes Park has beautiful mountains, a large lake in the middle of town, tons of shops, and was home to the famous Stanley Hotel, the place where Stephen King had the idea to write The Shining. It also had the staircase that Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels tripped over in Dumb and Dumber. I hid my box of ponies with me in my luggage when we left for Estes Park. We stayed there for a few days, unfortunately not at the Stanley, but still had a wonderful time hiking and taking in the town. And I did take a tour of the place, which was really fun. One morning, I decided to go outside and walk around a metal pole for half an hour. Once I was done with that, I walked back to my room. I placed my hand on the door, and I felt a coldness from the handle. Something was wrong. I opened the door, and I take a few steps in. And on my bed were all my ponies, standing everywhere. Rainbow Dash was at the end of my bed. A couple of Twilights were along the sides. And Fluttershy was standing on my pillow. My mom and dad were grinning at me, holding back their giggles as they saw my state of shock. My mom finally broke the silence. "We found this box of ponies down next to your bed. It must have been left there by some poor little girl." Whew. I let out a sigh of relief. "We should put them back in the box and take them to the front desk. Maybe that little girl will get them back." The air caught in my throat, and before I could stop myself, "No!" They look at me. They probably won't be coming back for a box of dumb ponies, right? Plus, besides, I have plenty of uses for them. I could get some firecrackers and act out my testosterone-fueled aggression. "I'm sorry, Fluttershy." Well, okay. And they never asked me about it again for the rest of the trip. I kept that box hidden in my luggage, and they safely made it home with me.